I like to quote a French poet who says, we sing well when we sit on the branch of our family tree. You see? As if our expression of life in this incarnation, at this time, is influenced by the past. Like, where do we come from? And how did this past history affect us? So this is typically, you know, I could have asked this question in the interview doing a family constellation, during the interview, right? Where do you come from? What are the main facts in your family history, and so on. So, you see, for us, we call that changing the focus. This is why family constellation is part of a broader school of therapy that is called systemic approach. You see, when you defocus and open the frame, we call that also reframing in NLP. Then the meaning changes. And I have something I would like to show you here. This booklet is about reframing. I don't know if you can focus on this or not. How is it?
Yeah, it's good.
So this is the first page, right? Yeah. Second page. Third page. You see how the focus changes?
Yeah. And
the meaning changes.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So the more we defocus, we open the focus, the more the meaning of what is shown changes. So this is exactly what we do with family constellation. We open the focus to the system so that actually the so-called problem of the client has a different meaning. And this is how we don't only reframe what is said, but the client might create new neural pathways to perceive the same situation with a different frame. And it's on and on. I'll bring this booklet to the training.
Yeah.
You see? And there is more.
Nice.
You see? I won't go further than this, but you see how when you defocus, the content, the meaning of the content changes, right?
Yes.
Where we come from. And how did our story affect our present perception of reality? Maybe through our belief system, you know. Okay, you're Rajasthani origin, no?
Yeah.
And Rajasthanis have a special story.
Yes.
And people believe that Rajasthanis are used to be warriors and all that. So how much of a warrior are you? Or how do you deal with conflicts yourself?
Yes.
You see, we learn from our past, and in our practice we open up the frame so that we can actually be aware of what we call hidden dynamics.
Yeah.
What is hidden? What is it that is hidden? What is hidden is what we are not aware of. So if we open up our awareness to past events and see how we are actually entangled with these events, the symptom actually might disappear, because the meaning I gave to an event was locked up in a certain perception of reality.
Yeah.
If I open the frame, my perception extending to a broader story, my belief will change.
Yes.
Or my experience, even the content of my experience,
Yeah.
what I made out of my experience might change. And this is how what's happening in family constellation, actually. We do reframing, we open up to the story, and then we see ourselves engaged through love and loyalty in the family story.
So you mean it just more than mentally understanding? So what I see,
Of
family
course.
constellation,
Yeah.
yeah. So
mentally understanding.
Exactly.
You see, our minds are made of all our concepts and beliefs that are actually very reductive filters about reality. So this is actually what we are giving a chance to change by opening up the frame, about past memories of wars or fights. How did I inherit the sense of injustice, for example, right? So I become a fighter for my family, and I'm very sensitive to injustice in my life. But when I do the constellation and I open up the frame, I can actually see the representatives of my great-grandfathers who had to leave Rajasthan or had to leave Germany or had to leave France because of war. And there is interaction between me or my representative with this great-grandfather. Me, myself, carrying the need for injustice might completely drop. Because when I look in the eyes of my great-grandfather, he's in peace. He left for eventually economical reasons, and moving was actually had some benefits for him. And here I am, a descendant, fighting for my great-grandparents, who I believe suffered because they had to leave their village, and this can drop. You see, so our approach, systemic approach, changes the way we perceive reality, right? By meeting past events to which we gave some meaning, which are actually not the right meanings. Why did we do that? Mostly because we needed a story. We needed to belong to a story, right? Once we are faced with the different original reality, how do we integrate that in our life now? How do we change? How does this change affect our life? I believe it's like clearing up some memories from the hard disk and making some space on the hard disk. And the hard disk being our capacity to be aware and present in the now, this quality of presence might be more intense because we have removed some past experiences, right? So just being more in the present after this work. It's not about only going in the past for, I don't know, curiosity or even healing. Yeah. It's about meeting past events, ancestors, and recognize how we actually were entangled through love and loyalty, and let them, and go back to, through humility, face themselves the results of their faith, and get their blessings, and go back being present now, and more present actually. It's about aliveness. I mean, all the benefits of family constellation are to feel more alive actually. Yeah. But of course, it's nice, also it's interesting, and it's very healing to go back in the past and see what happened and experience.